Hey everyone, it's Ryder from Skip. Big news today. There's a proposal to eliminate the EIDL accrued interest over the past 30 months and lower the EIDL interest rates. I'm going to talk about that proposal that's been sent to the SBA, who wrote it, and what the likelihood of that happening is, plus more details on the disaster EIDL relief in Florida as a result of Hurricane Ian. This is big news today. I'll keep it short. Thanks so much for subscribing and turning on the alerts. And since this is a big one, let's try to get to 2,000 likes. So thanks for hitting the like button. Okay, I want to talk about this letter to Administrator Guzman to eliminate the accrued EIDL debt and lower the rates from 3.75% down to 1%. Does this actually have legs? But first, on the SBA disaster EIDL relief, we're having an SBA director on live this Wednesday to talk about this program. So another reason to subscribe and turn on the alerts. We're going to have him on at 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern right here to talk about this new funding that's available mainly for Florida residents. We're going to learn a few new things there. That's this Wednesday. Plus this Tuesday and every Tuesday, we're doing grants and loan roundups. So if you care about applying for grants, tune in every Tuesday. And of course, if you're serious about funding or growing your business, go to helloskip.com/join. Choose one of the options, use the code RYDERINVITE or the link below. We'll help you directly. We've helped tens of thousands of businesses successfully start, fund, and grow. We'd love to help you. Okay, here it is from the National Restaurant Association. They urge the SBA to lower rates accrued interest on COVID-19 loans. And this comes out of some data from the NRA, the National Restaurant Association. Here's the data. This survey they conducted between July and August 2022, pointing to the dire conditions restaurants are still facing, leading to their policy recommendation that they've put forward to the SBA and Administrator Guzman. Soaring costs across all parts of the business are creating challenges for restaurant operators. If you're a restaurant watching, would love to hear in the comments if you agree with these statements, or if you're in any other industry. Same question. 88% of operators say their total food and beverage costs are higher than in 2019. 91% of restaurants increased menu prices, while 65% changed the food and beverage items that it offered on the menu. I'm not going to go into all of this, but here's a summary table. Actions taken by restaurants in recent months as a result of these higher costs: increased menu prices, changed menu items, reduced hours of operation, postponed plans for expansion, reduce the number of employees. Those are the top 5 reasons. A few other takeaways: 1 in 6 restaurants are adding fees or surcharges to checks as a result of higher costs. Profitability is down from pre-pandemic levels. Restaurant operators expect business conditions to remain challenging, and 2 in 3 restaurants are understaffed. So whether you're a restaurant or you go to restaurants, this is important data here. And this is the big one. 2/3 of restaurants took on new loan during the pandemic, and nearly 4 in 10 restaurants with EIDL debt owe more than $200,000. Less than 1 in 4 restaurant operators with EIDL debt say they'll be able to make scheduled principal and interest payments. Again, this is specific for the restaurant industry, but I imagine for many industries, maybe the industry you're in, this is still the case. EIDL repayments start for some this month and millions more starting in November and December. As a result, the National Restaurant Association wrote this letter to Administrator Guzman on behalf of America's restaurants. A couple takeaways here. A 3.8% interest rate means that a $100,000 loan has accrued almost $10,000 on top of the initial amount. By the way, if you're interested in learning about EIDL repayments, how to set it up, we'll link to this video above. Very important if you're one of the 4 million folks with an EIDL loan who hasn't set up payments yet, or automatic payments. We'll also leave a link in the description to a how-to guide on how to set those up. Here it is. Back to that 1 in 4 stat. 1 in 4 restaurant operators don't think they'll be able to make principal and interest payments. Loan delinquency and default are major concerns across the industry. Restaurants need EIDL relief options. Most of them took on this new debt on terms that originated in March 2020. Many restaurants are still struggling with economic hardship. As a result, we urge you to take these steps. Here are the 2 recommendations. Number 1, eliminate EIDL accrued interest debt that was incurred during the 30-month deferral period, as deferment was a necessity, not an option for most restaurant borrowers. Number 2, lower interest rates from 3.75% to 1% for the duration of the loan to align the COVID-19 EIDL rate with the loan rate established in the Paycheck Protection Program. And number 3, create good borrower relief for hard-hit industries, including restaurants, encouraging borrowers to establish a repayment plan and make required payments for 10 years with an SBA commitment to eliminating the remaining 20 years of EIDL obligation. This both encourages EIDL repayment and saves the SBA from 2 decades of loan servicing. So let me talk about each one and what I think is the likelihood. First one, eliminating EIDL accrued interest debt that was incurred during the 30-month deferral period. As alluded to here, if you took a $100,000 loan, your interest that has accrued could be $10,000. It's likely in the thousands of dollars. That's a significant amount of money. I do know that the SBA is working hard on trying to improve both communications with regards to repayments and their EIDL repayment system, which they think will launch sometime in early 2023. I think this may be possible, but let me compare this to the 2 other options. And by the way, I'm going to try to squeeze in these questions when I talk with an SBA director this Wednesday about the Florida relief. I'll see if I can switch gears and talk about this proposal. So if you have any questions about this or about other funding or relief, drop it in the comments. The second, on lowering interest rates from the 3.75% to the 1%. I don't think it's likely, mainly because the EIDL program, the EIDL debt, has been around for a long time at those established rates, 3.75% for for-profits, 2.75% for nonprofits. As pointed out here, yes, it is in line with the PPP proposal. It's definitely a big step. It collectively would save billions of dollars per year because, $400 billion in COVID EIDL loans have been distributed. And this third idea of creating good borrower relief for hard-hit industries, only 10 years of payments, then forgiveness, if that's what they're suggesting. Basically, after paying for 10 years, you get the rest forgiven. That seems pretty outlandish. You're basically saying just 10 years and then erase the debt. I mean, who knows where we'll be in 10 years? As we know, it's very tough to predict, not only in the US, but globally 10 years out. But I can't imagine. This is akin to, let's say, student debt relief, or if you work in certain industries like nonprofits or public service, you can get student loan forgiveness after X amount of years. So there are parallels to this. I just don't think as of right now it has a very good shot. Back to number 1, eliminating the EIDL accrued interest debt. Again, could be a good policy decision for Administrator Guzman. However, we know that many people have already paid off debt, been making payments, so it wouldn't be fair to them. The SBA, if they did this, would have to go back and figure that out, which is doable. They could basically credit that interest payment to the principal balance. It'd get a little messy, but according to the National Restaurant Association, things like this are necessary because people do not think they'll be able to repay their EIDL loans. Again, this is a huge proposal. If you have questions about this, please drop them in the comments and I'll try to ask the SBA administrator live on Wednesday about some of this. Mostly, I'll be talking about the disaster EIDL funding in Florida. This is up on our blog. I'll link to it below. I've got a list of all the counties eligible for relief and the types of relief available in each county. Here is the map. This is also on our Instagram, hello.skip. If you're in Florida, know someone in Florida, go share or save this post. In orange are the counties eligible for physical and economic injury EIDL loans. So the physical loans include business and home loans. In yellow are the contiguous counties. They weren't directly affected by the storm, but they're next to the counties affected. So if businesses there were affected by this and can show that, I'm not sure exactly yet how you'll have to show this. I'll find out later this week, but those counties in yellow, including Broward and Miami-Dade County, would be eligible for EIDL loans. Again, all this information is on the Skip blog, link in the description. As always, thanks for tuning in, subscribing and turning on alerts and hitting this like button. This is a big deal, so I hope more people can see this. Let's try to get to 2,000 likes. So thanks for hitting the like button. Most importantly, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow.